All right, Brew, our resident NBA historian. Sorry, Nick.
Whoa.
Do you agree that some champions deserve an asterisk?
Recognize. I mean, come on. Go ahead.
No, I am staunchly against asterisks for NBA champions. The reason I am is because if you go back in the history of the league, and since I've been watching it since the 70s, many years injuries play a role. Like Magic's last championship, Isaiah Thomas had the ankle injury where he scored 25 in Game 6 in the third quarter on a bad ankle, couldn't hardly play in Game 7. He tried, but so injuries, and you could go on and
Isaiah's first one, Magic tears his hamstring.
Yes,
or,
the Lakers had a lot of injuries. Yeah, so
and their history, me, buddy. We'll go back and forth the whole time.
But yeah, there's always injuries. Yeah. Not every single one in his list. There were years where obviously he kind of tongue-in-cheek threw something out there.
It was a lot of sarcasm.
There were also a lot of years where there was legit stuff that you could point to. And so for that reason, I'm like, look, a championship is a championship. It's hard to do, so no asterisks. That said, all championships are not created equal.
Absolutely.
All championships are not created equal. Like LeBron's championship in Cleveland. Number one, it's your hometown. First championship in 52 years for the city. And you came back from a 3-1 deficit against the greatest regular season team. Like, that means more than any of his other rings.
But some people still try to do because Draymond got suspended. So don't you think – I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
I was just going to point out, the Spurs in 2014 – that championship when they ran over Miami was more impressive than the 07 when they beat Cleveland, which was young and just LeBron dragged guys there. So it's fair for us to point out the differences in championships with still respecting, hey, you got a ring, but there are differences. It's like every platinum album, they're all great, but they're different degrees. They're different levels, and that's what this is.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, I think – the reason the asterisk thing exists is because they literally put one in the baseball record book on Roger Maris's home run record.
Right.
Like there was a literal, you open up the record book, there's an asterisk, and it's like season was too long, and we liked Babe Ruth more. What we're talking about with these, whether you use the word asterisk or not, is a mental note.
Yes.
Do I think that was the best team? That's what, to me, this is. So the
best team that season?
Yeah, I think there's, again, different degrees of it. So the one that I think everyone points out, they're champions, they should be proud, they definitively were not the best team, is the 2019 Raptors. We're like, no, you know what I mean? That the best team, they played them in the finals, that team's best or second best player played 11 minutes, and its third best player blew out his knee during the finals. And so you don't take away from the accomplishment, but you acknowledge it. Yep. And there's another version of the mental asterisk or note for players' championships, which is Gary Payton with the Miami Heat does not feel the same.
It doesn't change his legacy.
As if he had won it with the Sonics by beating Jordan. And a lot of people regularly do it to Durant. He's a two-time champion, but
I do it to him.
Yes,
I do it to him.
And so I don't think, by the way, OKC would qualify for any of those things, even though Halliburton got hurt, because Halliburton played 6 full games. They also were the better team. You know what I mean? They were the favorite. All of that. Yep. But I do think people take their own stock of what each championship weighs, so to speak, and the players' contributions to it.
Listen, I loved the article. It was just dripping with so much snark and sarcasm. And with the asterisks, I did like for Houston. Sorry to the Rockets, but first one doesn't count because Jordan was playing.
People do that all the time.
Jordan was playing baseball, and then for the second one, he was like, Jordan was playing golf.
They do, but again, there's degrees. It's not treated like Durant's championships.
No. Well, so Durant's championships, and I know he hates this, and I think that no one should have a bigger beef with ring culture than Kevin Durant, because when he was with the Sonics and the Thunder, everyone was like, all-time great player who doesn't have a ring. Is he on his way to being Charles Barkley? The cap explodes. Every team can afford a max player. And he's like, I'll go join the 73-win Warriors. And then we move the goalposts on him immediately. And like, sorry, those 2 rings and 2 finals MVPs don't count. And yeah, I don't know what to tell him. Like, you got him. It's on your resume. You're an all-time great. But Giannis's 1 in Milwaukee is more impressive than Kevin Durant's 2 in Golden State. Jokic's 1 in Denver is more impressive than KD's 2 in Golden State. Call it my own personal record book. That's how it works. But there are no asterisks. And the only thing with the article that I didn't understand the premise of is like, is anyone actually putting an asterisk on this Thunder team?
No.
They were the second youngest champion ever who had the best point differential in the history of the NBA that won 68 games with the MVP. Like this is as legit of a title as we've seen in a while.
But I do think, and I said this yesterday, if they don't win another one, this team, they won't be looked at as like that great of a team.
See, to me, and I've heard you say that, this is just as a single season entity, I do think they're a historic team.
The thing on that is there are no singles.
Well, and their total wins, 68 wins.
No, but there are no singles in this league. There are no single season all-time great teams. Like that, when we talk about,
I would throw the 83 Sixers.
I do too, but I don't consider that a single season just because they made the finals a bunch. But sure, I think that might be the greatest team of all time. It's not. The NFL's very different.
Of course.
I'm not a lot of the. When we talk about the best teams in NFL history, we very often are talking about 1 year. The 85 Bears, the 07 Pats who lost. But you know what I mean? When we talk about the best teams in NBA history, we say player team era. You know what I mean? So that's, I think, where they have to qualify. But I understood Haberstow's article was a knock at the idea that we don't, that we would
every
ever
shouldn't get respect.
And everyone deserves respect, but we also should not put our fingers in our ears and act like the context of a championship didn't happen. For this Thunder team, I think it is as close to as clean of a title as one can get, even with Halliburton going down in Game 7.
These are the 3 things I think where championships are the most respected. Flat-out dominance.
Yep, they have it.
A stunner or an upset like the 04 Pistons, and iconic players.
Yep.
Like, I think every LeBron, Jordan, Steph championship is respected. Now, maybe Durant, who is iconic, is an exception to that.
I think he's an exception to a lot of these
It was such an exceptional situation.
Jonathan Givony reporting that the Thunder are trying to move into a top 10 pick in tomorrow night's draft. No rest for Sam Presti. OKC, of course, the favorites to win the title next year by a considerable margin. Seemingly wouldn't need a top pick. But, Nick, they're trying to get one. Your reaction?
Yeah, this is almost a necessity, not because they have to add an impact player, but they can't add as many players as they're slated to. Like, their roster already is at 15, which is the maximum, and that's without 2 ways. And right now they have the 15th, 24th, and 44th pick of the upcoming draft. And this is what's unique, Brew, about the upcoming draft picks the Thunder have in the first round over the next few years. They have a bunch of them, but none of them are great picks.
Right.
So they have 15 and 24 this year. Next year they have Philly's pick. I don't expect, and it's top 4 protected. It could be injuries, but it is top 4 protected. So the best that could be is 5, and I think Philly expects to be in the playoffs. They have Utah's pick, which sounds great, but they won't have it because that's top 8 protected, and Utah will be in the top 8 because they're going to be bad. And their own. And then they have 2 Nuggets picks over the next 3 years after that, a swap with Dallas and a swap with the Clippers. Point is, what they are probably going to have to do, Brew, is package a bunch of these types of picks for one player or one pick. I think that's smart, and I think that's the only way to make the roster work.
Look, in Sam Presti, I trust.
Amen.
And this is why he's been able to build this championship teams and build great teams, several times during his tenure there. And here's the thing to remember, because I assume, and I'm sure we all assume, they're going to build around their big 3, right? Yeah. Jalen Williams, Shea, and Chet. But remember, the first big 3 they had there, they did not offer James Harden the max. Now, it was close, but it wasn't the max. And that's why he left to Houston. He said he'd have stayed had they offered him the max. So, and that was a less punitive CBA than today.
Right.
So they could be just, hey, let's just get some great play. Like Casey Wallace is a lottery pick. He was a 10th pick in the draft. So let's see what he might become a Jalen Williams type player. So I just think the more players you can get who are really good, the better, because we don't know if they're automatically keeping all three of those guys.
And to Nick's point, they won't. And to your point, Sam Presti's the best drafter of the last 25 years. They also have Nikola Topic, a 6'6" point guard from Serbia who's been playing pro ball since he was 16, who tore his ACL. He's 19 years old now, was a top 5 talent in last year's draft. They got him with the 12th pick. He's already on the squad. So Sam Presti can do whatever he wants. He wants Knipple. Want to trade into the top 10? Being 10th in three-pointers wasn't enough for him?
He'd be a
perfect fit for that.
I mean, I think Knipple might go top 5, but I got you.
But if he wants to, trade all of your first-round picks from next year and move up with 15 and 20. Point is, Presti can basically do anything he wants in this draft. But I consume a lot of your content, my good friend.
Buddy. I appreciate it.
It's a great show. It's an honor to share with you guys. And I just want to say that I want to issue a little bit of a challenge to you. Wow. That's right.
This is like, if people don't know, Danny and I went to college together, gambled in college together, made a lot of long-term NBA bets over the course of people's careers. Go ahead.
Call this like a high-stake take, put your money where your mouth is sort of thing. Because he is selling Thunder stock. They won't be a dynasty.
I'm not selling Thunder stock.
You are. You're dismissing.
I'm just not buying it.
He already picked Houston.
All right, so here's the proposition, Mr. Luka, your large adult Slovenian son.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. SGA, career, titles, and MVPs.
So right now he's got 2 and Luka has 0.
Yeah.
SGA minus 1.5.
Okay.
I get Shea, you get Luka.
So basically it's Luka has to win more titles and MVPs combined than Shea does moving forward.
Correct.
Yeah, sure.
Moving forward? It's not already. Those two don't count.
Well, that's why he said minus 1.5. So it's like, but if they finish moving forward with the same amount, he wins.
Right. If Shea gets to 4 and Luka gets to 2, I win.
Yeah, it's
2-0, 3-1.
Because Luka's going to win, I'd say, 2 MVPs and 2 titles. So he'll be at 4. And I don't think Shea will win another MVP and maybe win another title, maybe 100%.
All right.
I might have done the bet without the minus 1.5. What are the stakes?
I was gonna say
a breakfast ball check against the first things first check.
That doesn't seem like it's even odds. But
I don't know, it's just an idea. It's just an idea.
We can hammer out the actual.
I say this, and you know I love Luka.
Oh, you're out on Luka.
No, I'm not out on him, but it's time to start winning some of these things. Some MVPs and some championships.
Well, luckily,
it's time now. Reportedly, he's really taking his
Skinny Luka.
Skinny Luka.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.